Welcome everyone to the Racing House. My name is Sakki. Today we're joined by Adam once again for another live stream. How are you, Adam?
Good, thank you. Looking forward to having a look over some of these liveries. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited as well. It's been a long time. Finally got Wi-Fi in my flat, so I'm back. I'm back. Apologies everyone. I've not been very active because I've been moving flat and have been struggling without any internet. So it's a hard life. But we're gonna get moving on to the 2021 liveries, which a lot of them have come out this week, and the teams have launched their cars for the upcoming season. We're just going to be trying to give a one-word review and then explaining why we've gone with that word, just to create a little bit of discussion around those deliveries. We've had some exciting ones that have come, and then some not so exciting ones. So we'll probably leave those ones right to the end. We won't go into too much detail. So let's start off with one. Which one do you want to start off with, Adam?
Should we go alphabetical?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Don't ask me.
Alfa Romeo.
Thank God you saved the day. So Alfa Romeo, let's get that up. Hopefully everyone can see that. So, what's your one-word review for the Alfa Romeo livery 2021? If you're watching in the comments, leave a comment to let us know what your one-word review is to sum up the Alfa Romeo livery for 2021. Go on, Adam.
Yeah, classy, I think.
Classy.
I
Okay.
think it's very classy. What would you say?
I would go with simplicity
Mm-hmm.
because it's quite chic. I would say it's quite nice. I like the way that they've obviously just flipped the color combination there, but I quite like it. It's minimal effort, but it's different in terms of the overall outcome. I like that they've kept the traditional colors, um,
Yeah.
but it's probably not the most revolutionary design out there. We've got Elegant from Uza on F1. Thank you for commenting. Um, why did you go for your word of choice?
Well, I think so. The video that you did with Jake a little while ago,
Mm.
and the thing that something that you mentioned about design and thinking about what can you take out or something.
Yeah.
I think this is a nice example of. It's quite simple. Like in the lines are quite straightforward. There's the red and the white, and it just works. And the way that they've proportioned certain sections of the design, and I just think it's nice. And also, there's a couple of interesting little things, like people saying that they've flipped the red and the white to reflect the Polish backing from Orlen, from
Ah.
Kubica sponsorship, and that's like a little bit of an Easter egg in
Ah.
terms of like the design, which I don't know if it's true or not. Um, but I think that's interesting if it is true. But either way, I think it matches. I think it matches Alpha in terms of their brand and stuff. It just feels quite Alpha-y to me. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
It does, and that's quite a cool story. If they have flipped it, to give a little shout out to Robert Kubica and their sponsors. It's quite a nice little touch that they've added, especially when you compare it to a few of the other teams, which we'll go on to later, who have gone for the minimalist kind of option in terms of change.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read out a few of the comments in the comment section. We've got a hello from F1 Online. So we've got a bit of an echo. Echo. Do we have an echo going, guys? Let me know in the comment section down below. We've got Nigel. I like it, but I think the red should be brighter personally. So yeah, they have kept it quite maroony. I'm not sure that's the right word. The designers of the world are gonna kill me for that, but it is quite a deep, rich red there. Don't know what you think. Would you have preferred it if they went a little bit brighter with the red?
Um, I quite like the slightly deeper red. Again, I think it's more that subtlety that I quite like. That's just personal preference. Um, Obviously, like the bright red is reserved for the Ferrari deliveries, and I think with Alpha, I know that you look back a long time to like the Martini sponsored Alfa Romeos and stuff, and they were quite bright. But since I would always see the slightly darker red as more Alfa Romeo personally. Yeah, but I think it's really nice. I think that's one where they've not done too much. They've not tried to do too much, but it's still an improvement. I think because I do think it's better than last year.
Yeah, I would agree with you with that. They've done something. Like I said, they've made the minor tweaks. They put some symbolism in there to make it mean something and add a little touch. So for me, it's got a thumbs up. They've tried to. They've tried in some way. Um, Let me see if I can put my headphones in because we've got an echo. One second. Alright guys, bear with me. I need to find a set of headphones.
Okay, I'll continue.
Yeah, so you keep on talking. I'm going to go get some headphones.
This is Johnny moving into a new flat and then trying to do live YouTube stuff. So the next one is AlphaTauri. So the word I would use for this is retro. I quite like the way they've flipped the colours and they've got the darker, the navy up at the top and then the white underneath and the white wheels. I think that's quite cool. There's a couple of shots as well of that pulling out of the testing. And it's like a matte black. And then it kind of comes into the sunlight and it's navy blue, which I think is a really nice effect. And I think you get that with those darker matte colours. I think because it was one of the early ones that came out, I think it divided opinion a little bit.
Yeah.
And the previous one from last year, I think that was actually quite popular. As much as I thought, in terms of design, I personally felt like it was a bit clunky. But I think the white and the navy, I think quite a lot of people liked that. Whereas I think this again is something that's a little bit different. I don't like it more that much, but I think because it's something different and it's incorporated those white wheels and they've at least tried to do something. Yeah. I think the release was a bit over the top though. It was more of a fashion launch, wasn't it, than a car launch? With the driver stood there like it was iRobot.
Was this for the Alfa Romeo?
AlphaTauri.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very, very... I know it got memed a lot as well. Guys, if you know the memes, leave a comment in the comment section down below. We moved on to the AlphaTauri car launch now, and it was very dramatic. But do you know what? I actually like that about car launches, like them making the most of them, and taking it as an opportunity to really shout about what work they've done during the off-season. And not often in this kind of day and age do the teams actually update their liveries drastically, so they have to kind of make the most of it. And AlphaTauri is a new, young brand, so they're going to make the most of it. And when you compare them to what other teams do, it's just like I would rather have some kind of activity rather than none and kind of underplay it. And Red Bull and AlphaTauri, they're built on marketing. That's what they do. So they're going to go for that style, I guess, in contrast to the style at Red Bull, where they just don't necessarily do that kind of big launch. They just do more marketing events surrounding their cars. So I think it's a nice contrast. The word that I would use to describe it is just clean. For me, it just looks clean, like that combination of the blue and the white, and it's just very simplistic form kind of lines, and it is, for me, clean is the word, and I actually do like it. I'd probably prefer the one from last year compared to this. This one makes it look a little bit more like a toy, if that's fair to say.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I think it's the one.
Yeah, it's just like they've changed it in a way that makes it look less bold and less contrasting. Because have they gone from blue to black, or black to blue? Sorry,
they've gone from a dark navy that was kind of gloss to this matte navy that looks black in certain lights.
Yeah, because that makes sense. Because it definitely looks a lot different from the last year one. I wasn't expecting them to change it that drastically. but they have kind of surprised me, especially knowing what Red Bull are like and how they like to keep their designs. So yeah, it is nice. It is clean for me. I enjoyed. Didn't actually watch the launch. I don't really watch the launches. The only launch that I watched was the Aston Martin, but we'll move on to that one. You're keeping the order for the alphabetical order because I'm screwed.
Nicely saying. So Alpine is next.
Alpine. Let me just.
Alpine. Go on, you go first this time.
Alpine. The word I'm going to use is spicy, because that's when I just saw it. I was like, that is one very, very spicy car. Like, I thought it was beautiful, honestly. I'm not sure what everyone else thought in the comments, and whoever's watching, let us know what you thought about the Alpine car. But for me, it was just stunning. The reason why is because, I wasn't really expecting much from Alpine. I'm not gonna pretend like I was. I was kind of disappointed what they did with the test vehicle, the test car, and the test livery, and then with the Alpine that they brought, they've managed to make the red and the white with that Alpine blue really work, and they've combined it in a way that is just so sleek and beautiful. So I was really surprised by how well they've done. I shouldn't have doubted Sean Bull design. Should have known he would have come through. He would have had pretty much a blank slate to work with, because it's the first time they've competed in F1. I think is this the first time?
70s.
Okay, yeah. So he would have had a blank slate, but for me it's spicy. What about you?
I'm going to drop a bit of French. I think it's incroyable.
Incredible.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. My French skills are not good, but I really, really like this one. This is one of my favourites, and obviously, as you know, and obviously I did a video on it as well.
Yeah.
The Alpine change is something that I've been following with great interest, because I think Alpine's a really good brand. I really like Alpine as a brand, and I think they've kind of honoured that heritage and that branding really, really nicely, because that blue that they've followed through onto the F1 car is their iconic Alpine blue. I agree with you in terms of the test livery kind of threw me off a little bit, and I thought, well, actually, I'm not sure what to expect now. But again, should have known if Sean Bull has anything to do with it, it was going to be a banger, and it is. As well, it's not only the design and the colours, it's the effect. So it's that satin metallic-y kind of effect that gives it sheen, but also it's got a really nice texture to it, and that really separates it from the other cars for me. I just think it looks really, really nice.
Yeah.
It looks like that car was designed by someone who knows more about designing cars that look good than the other teams, I think. It just looks better. Like, it just looks like there's been more stuff put into it, I think.
Yeah, you're not messing about tonight.
No, really.
It does. I would have to agree with you. Got some comments here in the comment section. We've got one from Bahama Tamata. I've just butchered your name, so apologies for that. Last year's AlphaTauri looked a lot better. Uzer on F1, stunning. All about Steph 1. It seems like you're using more than one word to me. Thank you for that, Steph. Definitely, yeah. The Alpine blue is the nicest blue I've ever seen in my life from Uzer on F1. And then we've got the second best livery so far. I wonder what you think the first one is. So let me know which one you'd pick as your favourite livery. I know we haven't got around to all of them, but let me know in the comment section what is your best livery so far in 2021 for the upcoming season, and hit the like button as well so that other people are notified about this video. I would have to agree with everything that you said about the Alpine. I remember you mentioning the test livery, and you were very, very disappointed with that. And you were very excited at the same time for the return of Alpine into motorsport. And if I'm being honest, I'd never heard of the brand. I'd never heard of the company. But the way that you spoke about it and their history, in motorsport made me think this would be a good move for them. And what they've done with the car so far, it is honestly stunning. Like, it doesn't look like an earthly object. It looks like more like a space, something that belongs in space. The way that that sheen that you mentioned, it just takes it to another level. And it just makes me think, do I really like matte liveries anymore after seeing this? I know that a lot of people have a preference for that glossy look over the matte look, and before I was indifferent, and then this has probably changed my mind fully. So it's definitely another thumbs up for Alpine. What do we have next?
We've got Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. And guys, this is the launch that I was looking forward to the most. I don't know why I get so excited by Aston Martin and the return to F1, but I was super excited for it. And then we got the car. Let me just get that up now.
I think the person that commented saying that the Alpine was their second favourite, I would have a guess that this was their first favourite. Because I think it's their favourite.
And we have... No, he's not let us know yet. But we've got one from Nimish. He says Aston Martin is his favourite. We've got another comment from Nigel. I feel like the graphic designers can make better liveries than the actual teams, hence why Alpine looks so good. That might be a spot on comment. Obviously, Jean Paul, I think he's got a graphic design background, built up his presence online, and made the most of his opportunity, and has ended up working for an F1 team. So that makes a lot of sense what you're saying there. Moving on to the Aston Martin livery, what was your one-word review?
I don't know if I can get it down to one word. I know when it came out, I messaged you on WhatsApp and said that I'm having a Jeremy Clarkson gentleman's trouser moment. I really like this. I think I like it more than I should like a car. I like Aston Martin anyway as a brand,
Yeah.
and I know I said that about Alpine, but Aston Martin are a different level to me. And I know there's people complaining saying it's not British Racing Green and all this. British Racing Green, it doesn't exist. Like, it's not actually a real colour.
Yeah.
Because it was a real colour, and then people called other things British Racing Green. So really, any green that's on a British racing car, you could call British Racing Green. And I actually quite like the green and then the bluey element to it as well. I think that's quite nice. If anything, my only criticism of it would be that it's a little bit basic.
Okay. So what would you have liked to see more on there?
I just think towards the engine cover, towards the back of the car, I just feel like it. I would have called it perfect if it just had a little bit of detail there. I just think it could do with a bit of detail. I don't know what it is. Do you know what I mean? Are you looking at it now?
Yeah, it's up on screen. Well, it should be. Let me know if it's not, guys. Before I go on to my one-word review, all about Steph 1 saying Aston Martin's missing a little something for me. Not sure what, though. And then, who's there on F1? Shiny. Got one from Josh Ravel. Green. Another one from Josh here. Or watermelon.
Yeah. I saw you say that on Twitter about the watermelon thing. Saw that.
Yeah. And then, who's there on F1? British Racing Green is overrated. It's too dark, in my opinion. This green and the 2013 Caterham green is perfect. For me, I'm so conflicted. I'm going to go with conflicted because, like I said, I just love the brand and I really love what Lawrence is doing with the team right now. Watching that presentation really has filled me with confidence, but at the same time, I was expecting that a little bit more. So similar to what Steph has said and similar to what you were saying, there's just something missing, and I feel like they've erred on the side of playing it very safe, keeping it very classy, very sophisticated, very much in line with the Aston Martin brand, or the old brand anyway. I'm not too sure what the kind of the presence is at the moment, but I know that things have declined a little bit of Aston Martin, but they're trying to keep it as simple and classy as possible. And you can see that with the livery, like they tried to do their best in terms of the sponsors, in terms of placing them, and I'm surprised how they've done it with their title sponsor. They've managed to make it slightly, it's not inconspicuous, but they've managed to make it work basically. And when I first heard them being announced, I was a bit worried and how they would merge the two together, but they've done a decent job. I like how they've integrated the pink. They've kept that from obviously the Racing Point from the previous year. But yeah, there's something missing. There's something missing.
There's something about that pink as well.
What?
Once I've read it, I think it'll. I don't think you'll be able to unsee it. Do you know the little pink line that kind of follows down the side of the car?
Yeah.
That's a copy of the way that Mercedes do it with the teal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is. Are you saying that they've copied the 2020 Mercedes car? Are you saying it's a green Mercedes? It had to start. It started already. That is a good point. They've probably mimicked the Mercedes. Not going to say copy. Don't want to trigger anyone. But yeah, that's a good point.
Next year, I think the Aston Martin engine cover will just say Aston Martin, Aston Martin, Aston Martin, Aston Martin.
Wow. Okay. He's going for them. He's going for them. But what I do find interesting is, like, not that I had negative feelings about Racing Point anyway last year. It's just that the whole feeling around the team has completely changed. As soon as they've changed that name, it's like a light switch. Everyone is suddenly in love with the team. They're willing Sebastian Vettel on. They're being a little bit nicer to Lance Stroll. So I don't know what you thought about the launch and the change in sentiment around the team and the people that work for them. What have you thought of that?
Yeah, it's been a gradual thing, hasn't it? Because even back in the Force India times, they were seen as kind of like the plucky underdogs, and they were a small outfit that didn't have the most resources, and they always did their best, and they were a tight-knit team. And then through the Racing Point years, they've obviously gained a bit of an overachiever kind of moniker a little bit. Whereas now they've gone from kind of this small outfit where we didn't really know what the financial future was going to be, to Lawrence Stroll looking like a Bond villain in his suit in front of this green and pink car. Like it's all gone very like corporate and sleek and official, hasn't it? From what was kind of feel good, like plucky underdog story, to now like suit and tie and boardroom story, which is fine, and it just feels different, and it's still the same team, it's still the same people. But it's interesting, isn't it? How branding can change something. Like if you'd not followed F1 before this year and you just saw that Aston Martin, you wouldn't ever imagine that the Racing Point history and the Force India history and the buyout and all that sort of stuff. You wouldn't think that was so recent.
Yeah, I think there's major things to come based on that team launch and the way that they came across throughout the whole experience. I'm very excited to see what they've got coming up. But we're going to move on to the next team livery, which one have you got for me?
The next one's Ferrari, which we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, we'll skip that. We'll move that.
So the one-word review for that can be red, so we can move on. So the next one is Schumacher's team.
Oi, okay. So this was launched today, obviously. Let us know what you think in the comment section, people. What's your one-word review for the Haas team livery, which was launched today? And what one word would you go with, Adam?
Colgate.
Colgate. Oh my God, you've been spending too much time on Twitter and Instagram. I'm going to tell you that now.
Look at the white, blue, and red. It is just like a strip of toothpaste. The thing is, like I've been looking at Twitter, obviously, as we do, when things happen and when liveries come out and things like that, and there's a real backlash over this livery for some obvious colour-based reasons. And there's been some sneakiness go on because the title sponsor's colour has been changed on the livery to blue and red, whereas if you go on that title sponsor's website, it's red and green. So there's been some funny business going on, and there's the funny business around the flag not being allowed, and they've kind of got around it doing this. But if you took away all that stuff and you just said, you didn't know anything about F1, you don't know anything about the stuff that's happened, and you just said, does this car look good or not? I would say yeah. I think the design's good, and my worry with stuff like this is that innocent bystanders, like the designer of this car, because he's just this person. I can't remember his name for the life of me, and I feel bad because I've seen him on Twitter. But he's trying to make a living, and I think he's actually done quite a good job with this design. I think it's a cool design, but the optics around it, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it is a bit. It's very dubious, basically. The one word I would go for is sharp. I actually quite like the design. I'm a fan of it. Obviously, the negativity that comes with one of their drivers has obviously kind of made this whole uproar about the colours that are used a lot more significant. There's quite a few comments relating to the fact that it symbolises the Russian flag. Will it be allowed in the season? Will it get banned? That's another question. Let us know in the comment section down below. Do you think the FIA will allow Haas to use this livery design colour combo at races? Because obviously you're not allowed to basically display countries and flags anywhere. And obviously the Russian flag is banned because they're not allowed to compete under that flag in any sporting competition. So I actually quite like it, despite all the kind of negativity around it. I think there's been mistakes that's been made, so let's give the guy an opportunity to see what he can do and if he can turn it around, because it's clear that Haas aren't going to do anything about it. It's a business decision, and we're not going to agree with it. A lot of people are not going to agree with it, but they're there to run a team, and they've made their choice basically. So we'll have to wait and see how it pans out.
They know they're going to be bad this year. They know that they are, and I think they've already come to terms with that.
Yeah.
And they've got their sights on 2022, and at least in the current situation, there are many jobs that are now safe into 2022 as a result. So that is, that's the positive.
Yeah.
So yeah, shall we move on to the next one?
Yep. What's the next one?
McLaren.
Okay, McLaren. My one word is, I don't even know how to describe this. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go with. That's not one word. Is it one word? Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Okay. What's happening? Why has there been no real change in what's going on? I'm quite disappointed with this, to be honest. But at the same time, there are teams that are taking this approach where they're gonna try and spend as little as possible in terms of development, other things, including liveries. So I shouldn't really be surprised by it, but I'd expect most teams or all teams to make a little bit of effort, given the fact that we know what's pretty much going to happen this season. This is one area that really brings a lot of excitement. People really get excited to see what the teams are going to bring to the grid the following season, and they've just done a quick copy and paste. So yeah, I'm not happy.
No, I would echo your thoughts. I think my one word would be meh.
Meh.
The thing is, as well, there was a big deal made of the release, wasn't there? And there was this big event at the MTC, the Technology Centre, and they drove in these black McLarens, which were really cool. They sat with Natalie Pinkham and did all this video stuff with Danny Rick's family and all that kind of thing. And the car's the same, like this big build up, and then it's just the same car. And I know there are little tweaks, and they've made little changes to the livery here and there.
Yeah.
And again, like you say, there's eyes on other things at the minute. There are other priorities.
Yeah.
Particularly when we know that the cars are going to look completely different next year. So you can kind of see why, because obviously that livery's changed quite a lot recently. But as much as I like the orange and I like the blue and the black elements, I think they could have made it a bit neater. Because as much as that livery is cool and I like the colours that are involved, I think it could be sharpened up a little bit.
Yeah. There's a lot going on, isn't there? I think with all their sponsors, someone showed me, or I saw a meme earlier today about how many sponsors McLaren have. It's like dozens and dozens versus Haas, which is I think about 5 or 6, if that. And just
I was going to say about 6 this year.
Yeah, and then it's just very, very busy, and like they haven't really taken that time to just refine it and just make. I don't know what changes they have made. I think there's been a few aerodynamic changes. Miran Dabi is saying that the front tip of the nose has actually quite changed from an aerodynamic point of view, which you can kind of see most teams that kind of leave their engine supplier and move towards Mercedes, they tend to look at developing their aero side in favour of things that have worked for a Mercedes in the past. So that's to be expected. And I'm hoping that they, in the next few years, as we move into the new regs, they use it as an opportunity to just switch things up, maybe completely change the livery design and move away from the orange. I wouldn't mind that because, yeah, they're such a big name in the sport. I think we're used to seeing really top quality liveries from them, and I'm surprised that they've just kept it so similar and haven't really changed it. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if you've got any more to say on top of that.
Yeah, like I say, I do really like the orange, and I think it's good with the heritage, and they stand out, and it's kind of become, for me anyway, it's kind of become a bit of a symbol of their optimism and their team spirit and stuff recently. And yeah, so I think they should keep with that, but maybe look to add some nicer design elements to it as well. You said, because I feel like they lean on the orange a little bit too much. But yeah, I think McLaren are going to be good this year, obviously. And the comment about the front nose as well. Alfa Romeo are another one that have made big aero changes. Obviously, with those technical regs changing a lot. I don't think we're planning on talking about that too much this time, but I'm sure it's something that we'll be talking about in the future as the season goes on.
We will be. So, go on.
The next one, if we're ready, is Mercedes AMG Petronas.
Oh, okay. You're not allowed to say AMG as your one word, by the way. I'm sure it's an acronym for something, but my one word is just nice. And the reason why I say that is I do like it. I'm not going to pretend like I don't like it. I do like it. But there's a point where you look at it and you're thinking, what have they done with that back end? Because all the way up to the Ineos bit where it starts, when it basically has that black line, it's just a bit messy, and I'm not sure why they've moved away from the kind of diffused colour match. It's like when it goes from the red of Ineos to the white or the black of Mercedes, it's just a very blunt transition, which makes it looks messy. I'm not gonna lie. It just makes it look messy. It makes it look messy compared to last year where it was diffused a little bit and it was more of a merged color transition. And it's nice for me, but it just looks very confused towards that back. And they've obviously gone with the AMG branding because they want to push that brand more as part of their business strategy. But they've just gone into overdrive with that. Like you said, the AMG, just ramming it down your throat. So, what's your one word? Rubbish. What? Oh my! Did you have your dinner tonight, mate?
I really don't like this.
You don't like it? Wow.
Right. Do you know what? Last year, the 2020 Mercedes was the best looking car on the grid by a country mile. It absolutely was not close. There is not one thing that I think has improved in this livery for this year. Not one thing. And I think one thing is better.
Yeah.
I think that the way that even the shade and the effect of the black, I think, is worse. I don't know how they've done it, because to me, black is black. But for me, it just doesn't work as well.
Yeah, it's a
And
glossy black, isn't it? It's more of a glossy black.
yeah, I don't know, but the way the teal of the Patronus, I liked how that had a bit of a gradient to it and a bit of an
Hmm.
effect to it last year, and it doesn't now, and I think that's a bit off-putting. The something that Tomo mentioned in his review of it, in his reaction to it, where
Hmm.
they've got the white text on the teal front wing, you can barely see the text, and it's things like that where it pulls your eye, and you're having to make an effort to see things. It shouldn't happen. You shouldn't have to make an effort.
Yeah.
And then with the red for the Ineos, they've gone away from the brand colour, which is a darker red, to this more scarlet type colour.
Hmm.
No idea why. And then they've plastered like elements of red on certain parts of the car
Yeah.
that to me doesn't make sense. And then I would be able to forgive all of that if they'd not done this ridiculous sticker bomb grey Microsoft Paint stuff on the cover. I'm not. It is, honestly.
Oh my god.
It's like someone's GCSE project that got a B at school. Like, and it was all right, and the teacher said, "You know what? You've done a good job there," but they're not showing it to anyone else. And because my issue is,
Yeah.
like you say, with that bright red, that bright red where the airbox is bigger than last year, or at least it looks it. It looks it to me anyway. And the way that they've kind of done the gradient for the grey or the silver or whatever colour it is,
Hmm.
it's just the proportions of it to me just makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. It's just not very nice. And the AMG stuff, like you say, I understand that they're pushing the brand image and stuff, but I think they would have been much better with just one big AMG instead of these kind of placed ones through a gradient when all the colours it just feels a bit off to me. All the shades just feel a bit off. And I feel like they've done this with the gradient, with the silvery grey. I feel like they've done this because they're going to start moving away from the black, which, I can understand why they wouldn't want to do a year with the black livery and then a year back to the silver. And I understand why they'd want to transition that because, there's been loads of progress made and it's been a good year for Black Lives Matter and things like that. It's been important. But don't fix it if it's not broken. Like this livery that I would have been pleased with if they've not done anything with it, but they've made it worse. And the thing is, with the AMG stuff, it is about branding, and this is something that I spoke about a while ago in that Alpine video. So Renault are going mostly to EVs and hybrids with things like the Zoe and stuff like that, and then Alpine are kind of being their niche sports car brand. Mercedes, I think from the messaging that I've seen and from like the things that I've seen, they're trying to keep Mercedes as this luxury brand and their everyday brand and like the S class and the like the A class and the things like that. And then they've got AMG for the sports stuff, so the A45s and the AMG GT, see the Mercedes drivers driving and things like that.
Yep.
And then they've also got this EQ, Mercedes EQ for the electric stuff. So you see the Mercedes EQ Formula E team. There's no mention of AMG in Formula E. So it's a very calculated branding exercise. But I just think the design pants, just really pants.
Yeah.
And I know that's probably won't be reacted to very well among our audience. I'm assuming that I'm getting hate mail through the YouTube comments as we speak.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
We'll see.
I just think it's a bit rubbish.
So,
It's not bad. Well, I tell a lie, it is bad. But aside from the engine cover, it's nice. The red, but as a whole, pants.
yeah, for me, it's just yeah, they've tried to obviously push in terms of branding because one of the first things I saw was obviously the change in terms of the Ineos factor, how much Ineos is pushed. That, like you said, the red is a lot brighter. It looks like they've got a lot more space, and it looks like they've tried to separate that off visually from the rest of the car. For me, it just makes it look a little bit cluttered. But I still like it. But the car from last year is just a lot better, and for me, it's always going to be one of the most iconic liveries because of what it symbolises. So it's always going to be hard to come up against that. this one's nice, but last year's is just miles better. And I think in the comments section, I think people tend to agree. Let us know what you think of the Mercedes livery for 2021. I'm going to move on to the next car. Which one do we have come up next?
Red Bull is the next one.
Ooh, Red Bull. My one word is really, 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 really. To be honest, I shouldn't really be surprised because we know that Red Bull, they like their livery. I think they like the consistency. It's all about Red Bull as the brand, the drinks brand, or the sports team. It's always going to be about Red Bull, and then whoever sponsors them is going to take a secondary kind of role in whatever livery they come up with. So yeah, my one word is really. They haven't tried to do anything different. They've obviously got rid of the Aston Martin on there because they got dumped basically. So they had to get rid of it, and they've added Telcel, I think, for Checo's sponsors and their partnerships. And there's not much you can really say about it. It's just like, that's it. It's really, what one word are you going to pick?
Obvious. Very much the same as you, really. I think, and this is the thing, isn't it? It is a classic livery, and it is a modern classic, and it is one that will be remembered for decades. Yeah. And for as long as it's F1, that'll be an instantly recognisable livery. But I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next year. Let's put it that way. Because I don't necessarily think they should change this. I think it's fine as it is. I've got to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of livery. I think it's okay. I think it's quite good. But I think I hope anyway. I hope that we'll see some really, really good stuff next year, because it's going to be a really year, isn't it, for the sport?
It is.
So I hope all the teams are going to go out, fighting in terms of livery design for next year. So that's it really for Red Bull.
Yeah, I think that you're right there in terms of the team spending and where they're putting their resources. Last year, I think a lot of them came out and said because the rules aren't changing, they're not going to do much with their liveries at all. That's definitely here. Remember McLaren saying that, and Red Bull, they just tend to stick with the livery that works for them. I think that those were their very own words. So, Red Bull sorted.
Then the final one, Derelton Capital Williams.
Oh, that's not been done yet, has it?
No, Derelton Capital Umbro Williams, should I say?
Yeah, I'm going to do a video about that later. Let me know what you think about Derelton's new kit sponsor, Umbro. I was a bit triggered by it, I'm not going to lie, but there's a video coming. Hopefully we can discuss it, and don't know, let us know which one is your favourite livery out of all those that we've just put up on screen. Put them into a first, second, third. How would you rank them? And then maybe pick out your worst livery out of those. And then we'll
what would you say? Got three.
My favourite one, the Alpine. The Alpine was my favourite one. I was just like, wow, that's spicy. It was just a different type of livery. I don't think I've ever seen anything really similar. And they really put the work in to make it stand out and make the most of the launch. I know that I think it was their live stream that really didn't go well, but the livery design was good. I appreciated it. And then I don't know, the worst one probably Red Bull, because they just stick to what they know. What about you?
I think for me, my top three would be Aston Martin number 1.
Okay.
Alpine number 2, and then Alfa Romeo number 3. And for me, I think the worst one's Mercedes.
Wow.
I really don't like it. I just think it's such a step back. I just think it's such a shame. And that car is going to be the fastest car in the world when it's going around tracks, and it looks like that.
Yeah, it's not a great look. It's acceptable, but that car's probably going to break a few records. It will be unfortunate if that's the best car ever and it goes on a mad run beating all records this season, ends up being the most successful car ever, and it just doesn't look right at the moment. But they've got time to change it, and they may still change it.
Yeah.
We've seen them.
And the thing as well is obviously the cars are going to be a bit slower this year with the changes to aero.
Yeah.
But because Mercedes have been developing this car since sometime in like 2008, whenever they stopped developing last year's, they've already got a head start, haven't they? They've already got a head start.
Yeah.
And because they've already had a head start for this year, you can guarantee they're already working on 2022.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like as far as they're concerned, really for the major stuff, it's already completed. Like they've completed it already.
Yeah.
Because 2020 was so dominant, and because they had so much extra time left over, like there's like the Red Bull coming on strong later on in the season. It's because they were developing the car months after Mercedes had stopped bothering.
Yeah, they stopped. They're pretty sure they stopped once they knew that the title was pretty much sewn up. So it makes no sense for them to keep on putting their resources into developing a car that's already dominant. So
Resources into designing the livery, in my opinion.
Well, ending on the positive note, we love the Alpine, love the Aston Martin. Mercedes could do better, but they can't be amazing at everything. We'll leave it on that note. Thank you for joining, everyone. Really enjoyed this live stream going over the liveries, doing a one-word review and a little bit more. But yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. If you're watching this on playback, please leave a comment and like if you enjoyed this content. And we'll be back with more over the next few weeks, and we'll have some more videos for you in a traditional style. But yeah, thank you for joining. Until next time.